We're all blessed to be working in an industry like the dental industry where it's very collaborative. We all have a lot of friends in the industry. Jared and I have been talking about doing a mastermind group. I'm not a big fan of the word mastermind, to be honest with you. It's one of those abused terms, but it's really just a collaborative group of people that, we can kind of help each other. So we're putting together some of the rules here today. I want to start with some introductions of the folks that are on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about kind of the goal. So if we can kind of limit some quick introductions to, about 1 to 2 minutes of what company you're with, in a sense, kind of what you're hoping to get out of this group, things that we're working on together. Most of you, I've had long, deep conversations about this. Ryan and I have probably spent about 10 hours talking about this, same with Jared. But some of you, it's the first time that we've talked about it in detail. So the goal for me is always to help and to give back and to collaborate. Lois Banta called me the most abundant person in the dental industry. That basically means I give a lot of stuff for free for people and my friends, and I love to take care of people. So, that's kind of what this is all about. Each of us have expertise that, can and should be shared. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm all about giving back and helping and sharing. And so that's really what this group is about. But I don't want this to be about what I think this group is about. I think the whole goal of this conversation today, and that's really what it is to make this group about what we want it to be about. I was talking to some of my folks in the office here. I'm like, this is a powerful group of people that are on this phone, which also makes it a little nerve-wracking to be on the phone with everybody. But they're all cool people that I enjoy hanging out with. So that also helps part of it too, right? So that's an important component of all of this, and it always should be. But more importantly, how do we help each other? So that's really what it's about. So Elijah, you want to kind of, I think most people know you, but you're going to the gym. So why don't you start with introducing yourself in transit? And I think most of these guys probably know who you are already.
Absolutely. So my name is Elijah Desmond, and I am the captain and founder of Smiles at Sea, which is essentially putting the fun back in dentistry. And it's all about community and total collaboration with a lot of people just being themselves and having fun. And it's all relationship driven. And, we started it back in 2015. And happy to say that we've over-delivered so much to all of our vendor partners that we actually have sold out in 72 hours of opening, which is like dream come true for us. And so we're gonna charter ships by 2023 and spread it all across the world. So we're super excited for that. We have 2 events coming up in 2020. That blew up so fast. I was tired of being the bad guy and telling all these speakers that are coming to cruises. I was tired of telling them, no, we're full as a organization or a meeting planner. Sorry, we're full. We're booked out to 2022. So I had to create something else called Dentistry's Got Talent. I was tired of telling my vendor partners, hey, sorry, there's no space for you on the boat. We're full. We're sold out. So I created Dentistry's Got Talent, where we essentially leverage online social media with the power of these amazing speakers in dentistry, and we essentially we put education on an online platform called Dentistry's Got Talent, where it's a really fun event, kind of like TED Talk and American Idol, but it's essentially 10-minute talks with where we have essentially over 100 key opinion leaders in dentistry, influencers in dentistry. 50 of them are competing in a competition. And we have commercials running during the event. The judges are on stage giving feedback. A lot of very positive energy. Everybody is uplifting one another. There's no negativity at all. And they're giving this amazing educational content. And we ended up selling that out as well last year for the vendor. So we're going to open it up for more. And it's just a really good opportunity. I don't have to tell all these speakers anymore that, hey, we don't have any room in the ship. Now we have another opportunity for the speakers to come on board Dentistry's Got Talent, and all the speaking coaches in the industry, they come and join us as well. And all of the organizations, as far as the speaking and consulting organizations, they come as well, and we kind of open it up to the entire industry. So after that is over, then we all get on the ship together. So that's what I'm all about, total collaboration. And then I do a ton of other stuff as well, but we don't got time for that, or I'll be in here the whole time. I'm not trying to hog up everybody's phone space. So thanks for letting me go first, Travis. I appreciate it. Try to keep it short.
All right. So, and Tanya, I know that you've got an event that you're kind of stepped away from for a second. So I think probably a lot of these guys may not know you, or I mean, they know you from Facebook. You know, you're famous online, but a good group of people to have as friends when you're going to the shows and whatnot as well. Tell us about yourself and maybe the one thing that you're working on right now that this group may be able to help you with.
Thanks for the invite, and nice to meet you guys. I am at a conference in Santa Barbara, but I own dentalpost.net. I founded it 16 years ago. It has become the biggest HR resource for finding jobs and building teams that excel. I have data so that you can hire better, like a basically emotional intelligence assessments, DISC. I have work culture assessment that has to do with the environment that you're happy working in, fast paced, slow paced, high technology, low technology, some of the things. I've got a lot of other assessments on there that doctors can use to before they even interview the person and bring them in the off time energy. I have 850,000 people that are registered on the site. I have 60,000 dental professionals that have used the site to hire. And I do have an educational platform too. It is small. It's I probably have maybe 50 courses on it. And then I have another platform I'm building that I'm designing right now, where it'll be an HR suite for dentists. And I can't really divulge what I'm doing. So, but it's being designed as we speak. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
Products. Good stuff. And anything in particular that you're looking for, any help that, you know, I mean, that's always a hard question, especially for all of us. You know, it's hard to ask for help on things, but these guys are all technology experts for the most part too. So as you're building anything, I know you are as well, but
yeah, I mean, I'm building a lot of different things. So I don't know of anything that I could ask for right now, but I do like this because I'm an EO, and I got Elijah to join EO and Entrepreneurs Organization, and we do a lot of things like this. And then we set rules about this trust circle, and if anybody violates that, they're kicked out. There's a lot of things that you've got to get vulnerable and build rapport with the group before people will really share as well. So I don't know everybody here yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Perfect. No, I mean, and so I mean, there's no need for us to recreate the wheel on any of the rules or processes. I've been a part of a couple masterminds too. Most of them I didn't love because I didn't really love the people that were involved. So that's a big part of this, right? But also, you know, it wasn't really as relevant. So but the rules are the same and similar. So let's, I created that Google Doc where we can start creating some of those rules and whatnot. So we'll talk maybe more about that later. I'm not sure we're going to even have time today. I think this is going to start with mainly kind of the introduction side.
Yeah, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I have twin girls that are 16, and that's my life right now. It's built dental post and twin girls, and I'm also doing another business I'm building as well. It's a divorce business, so it's kind of on the side being designed as well. So I've got couple of little projects going.
Great. All right. So Pete, you want to go next and kind of introduce yourself? I mean, a lot of this comes from your ideas and collaborations, you and Eric. You want to introduce the two of you guys? No.
Can't hear you.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
We can't hear you, Pete.
So, yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
All right, so we're Get Practice Growth. Me and Pete are co-founders of the company. I am the CEO. Pete is revenue.
Uh-oh. We're losing you too, Eric. Yeah, no problem. Brian, you want to go next? I'll unmute you there.
Did you say Ryan or Brian?
Brian Courier.
Okay, that'd be me.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Well, hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm the new guy, and probably absolutely none of you know me except maybe some online interaction and whatnot. I actually reached out to Travis because I was intrigued by all of this. If you look at the mission of our organization, we want to help entrepreneurial practices succeed by utilizing technology to just make their business better. And that sounds like something that goes on a poster on a wall, but it really is kind of the heartbeat of what we do. And especially right now, when you look at mergers, acquisitions, corporate dentistry, a lot of these things going on, my passion is to help the individual dentists. I've been doing this for 20 years. Oh, I'm sorry. We're an IT provider, right? So we do all the grunt work that all the people building the fancy platforms that they can't talk about here. We're the guys who do the work that nobody else wants to do. So servers, workstations, infrastructure, security, Wi-Fi, dear God, help desk and Windows 7 and all this other nonsense that it takes to keep this stuff running. That's what we do. And I started the company about 20 years ago. And it's all I've ever done for a living, and I can't get a real job now, so I kind of help the whole thing works out. And we have about 82 people on staff now. We have about 750 practices where we actively manage their IT each month, spread across 9 states. I live in a little area outside of Nashville called Franklin, Tennessee, and I just absolutely love it here. But our goal as an organization is to help entrepreneurial practices, not the Coast Dentals of the world, not the Aspen Dentals of the world. That's just not my market, and I don't care. But I love the entrepreneurial dentist. I love the guy or the gal who's out there, who's graduated school, is still worried about getting their student loans paid for and balancing that and building their practice and doing all that. I want to help them win. And I really want to help them win well. And so we believe that technology is the great equalizer between small business and their corporate counterparts. And so anything we can do to help them do that is really where our heart as an organization is at. Married for almost 20 years. I have 4 kids, ages 14 on down to 9. They all live with me in my house, eat all my food, and take all of my savings towards their college funds. And an interesting fact about me, I guess, would be I'm also a pilot. My wife and I are both pilots. I have over 4,000 hours in various types of aircraft. That's actually what I was doing in Scottsdale, was my annual recurrent training. And so it's nice to be able to take my passions of entrepreneurship and work with people in 8 different states and use aviation to help get there and be able to execute on that vision. So it's a lot of fun. And in this group, I really I see the possibility of some like-minded people who have a passion for entrepreneurial practices and helping them win. And you don't see a lot of that out there. Everybody's wanting to hire a director of DSO acquisition and everything like that. Man, I want to help the entrepreneurs win. So that's why I'm here, and excited for the opportunity. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks, Brian. Corey, you want to introduce yourself? Call for, sorry.
Is my audio working now?
Just there we go.
Double check.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool.
All right, guys. So I'm Corey Penniger with CallForce. What we do with CallForce is we are a call center just for dental practices. So if people call their dentist, the dentist doesn't answer, it rings through to us. Simply, we have access to their practice management software to schedule, to take new patients. Our belief is marketing is awesome, but if you don't have the systems to be able to capture your spend, there really is no point. So we based it off that. We have a couple other services built around that, but we're based in Utah with a lot of the other dental companies around here. And that's my short and sweet, so we can keep on going.
All right, perfect. Good stuff. So Ryan Hungate.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Hey, everybody. So Ryan Hungate, founder and CEO of Simplify. You guys will know us for a couple of things. First, our old product where we would show people where to go on an Apple Watch and kind of move them around their office. It failed miserably for the same reason that any product fails at out there in the dental world, the front desk. They don't like to change at all. So anyways, we pivoted into, now we are the largest 24/7 web chat company, where we will actually pop up chat on your website, answer on the practice's behalf within 7 seconds, all HIPAA compliant, speak 7 different languages fluently. We have now 120 chatters chatting 24/7 all throughout the US. We run it a lot like Uber. So we built the technology all internally. We don't white label any products like live chat or a lot of the other chat farms out there. We utilize the whole thing. We're super low price, and we are more than likely by far the biggest. We now have, let's see, we just crossed the 3,200 location mark. So that's cool. We started that service, so we grew that all the way from the beginning of 2018, and we've grown to 3,200 in that amount of time. I would love to help anybody. We are a completely inside sales organization, so any of you out there that is looking to dial for dollars, I like to think that I've done a pretty good job at building that team. We have a 40-person inside sales team. I know there's some guys from Weave on the phone. They do the exact same. They have a similar way to do things as well. Good buddies with their new VP of sales over there. I think he's the VP of sales now, Sky. But anyways, super excited to be talking with this group because I am a true believer in that there is a new order being rising up in dental. There's an old order of Patterson, Eaglesoft, and these old Danaher column. Now I guess, what are they called? Whatever the hell their new name is, and Vista, which we all have to deal with every single day. And they move I think it's insulting when they compare themselves to the Titanic, because the Titanic was a lot more efficient than they are. So I think that having groups like this, we can actually I think this is a great forum where we can talk about that, that we can actually speak with Shine and those other guys and tell them what we want. And if we come to them with a unified voice, then they will actually frickin' listen for the first time. Because now, if you take it, take the scheduling APIs, that Travis and I are dealing with a lot of them about right now. I'm sure you guys saw all the bullshit that just came out where they were trying to change their pricing. And not only did, we all kind of come together in our own individualistic ways. I know, Travis, you wrote a letter, I wrote a letter, and all this other good stuff, but they changed. They actually went back on what they were going to do. Now, they didn't change completely, and they're still holding back scheduling APIs. It's completely messed up, and that's why Open Dental will probably win that war eventually. But at the same time, I think that these kind of groups are perfect for that because, some of us are smaller, some of us are more progressed along. But if we come at them in a very unified way and we talk about how we're going to do that, it's really, really powerful. So I think that's one big advantage of this. And on top of that, I also want to next year do an actual good, user summit. And I'm looking to get a bunch of really forward-thinking companies together to do that. I know a lot of us have. So we're a venture capital-backed business. We raised about $30 million now. Like I said, that's nothing compared to the Weaves out there, and a couple of Dental Intel's just raised a big round too. But we have some really cool investors that we can also bring to those, because I'm an orthodontist, by the way. I'm a firm believer that I can give two craps about all of the clinical stuff. I learned that all in dental school, and I don't want to hear about it again. But at the same time, I want to hear a lot more about the business side, because that's where it's actually going to help me. So I want to base it around that in a big way. And it would be fun to actually bring all of you together and have that forum and have a really, really forward-thinking process around that. Because I think we have a lot of really cool users. At the same time, I know a lot of our users are each other's users too. And it's really hard to find those forward-thinking doctors out there. So that's another place I think we can work together too. Nice to meet everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. All right. And Ryan, I love how opinionated you are, because that's so valuable for this group. And that's exactly the stuff that we want to have, like literally cut through the bullshit. Like, how are we going to make this better? Who are the people we need to look out for? What's everybody doing? What events are good? That type of thing. So,
yeah.
I'll
tell you how I think about it.
I know you will. Yeah, it's makes it more color commentary on the stuff, right? And we're dealing with, so Brant, Jared, and James are all integration customers of ours. And so they're all, the 5 of us are all dealing with, fighting against Dentrix on that. And I think we are starting to win it a little bit. But James, it's a great segue because James Anderson, who's on the line, runs eAssist. He's got some real high-level relationships over at Dentrix as well. So, James, I'm going to unmute you, and you want to introduce yourself and maybe talk about what we think we could do to rattle the cage over at Dentrix a little bit.
So I like those guys over there. We're 5 minutes away. We're here in Utah, American Fork. But I'm a dentist too. I graduated in 2002 from Oregon, started 9 dental practices. Biggest problem I saw starting dental practices was finding an office manager that knew how to not only keep the staff happy, keep the drama from occurring, keep the schedule full, collect the copay, but to also bill the insurance and work the AR and follow up 4 times if needed to get it paid rather than just writing it off. And so we started, I had an office manager who was fantastic, and then she quit. Her husband was in the military. She transferred. And so I hired and fired 6 different office managers with my main location, because our receivables kept climbing higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. It was all based around insurance. People would leave the practice and say, I love your practice, Dr. Anderson, but your billing is all messed up. At the time, no one was doing this. We went online, tried to find a company that would do it for me. I saw a bunch of medical billing companies. I didn't find a single dental billing company. So we bought dentalbilling.com and created our own solution to solve our own problem. It did. It solved our problem. Now we have 675 people that work for us. Our run rate's about 30 million. We the nation's largest dental billing provider, and that's our core focus. Had conversations with Henry Schein. Real excited about some future things there. But I really, Corey, nice to see you again. It's been a while since we chatted. Look, I just sent you an email. Ryan, I'd love to get, I know you didn't put your email on the Google Doc. Throw it on there. I'd love to get to know you better. Take you up on that offer of some kind. We're putting together a doctor summit too. We figure we've got about 3,000 dentists that we service and about 1,200 locations. We figure the very best people to put on those shows are rock star doctors who know stuff doctors like to hear from other dentists. And it means a lot to them when they hear a doctor solve problems and teach it in a way where they know they're not selling something. So I'm grateful to be a part of this deal. Travis, nice to see you. Thanks for putting this together again. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys better over the years.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thanks for joining, James. All right. Jared, you want to introduce yourself? Looks like you're driving.
I am. I'm in that club today. Anyways, I'm glad to be here. This is awesome to see this kind of come to fruition a little bit. Well, I guess that's the wrong word, but to see it start to come to light. At least, like we've been talking about, there's been some chatter on the side for quite a while, and really excited that we're just diving in. This will become a lot that we probably haven't even envisioned yet, but I think that's the point. That's why I'm here, at least, because I love being a part of creating things and to help solve problems and to sort stuff out and just kind of be a part of that grind as we work to improve and do things for the industry and look out for each other. So we got Jared Ferrenti, the CEO of Dental Warranty. If you don't know what we do already, so we do patient protection plans or treatment protection plans on any restorative and cosmetic dental treatment. So patients know afterwards that whatever happens, wherever life takes them, wherever they go, that they're protected and don't have to pay again when issues happen. And practices through that have an extremely powerful tool to better engage their patients in their care, help them make the right choices, and keep up with their health. And through that, everybody wins. And so excited to be here, excited to learn more about what everyone else is up to, and look forward to getting to know you better.
Perfect. All right, sounds good.
I just want to jump in and say something. Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
As a dentist, I can't tell you how many times patients have said, "What? That's not under warranty." Like the lab warranty is only a year old. I don't know. It's your tooth. The one God gave you broke too. What a great idea. I actually I go to these big cities, and the buildings that are the highest always have insurance companies' names on them. And I think you're onto something special. That's really cool. I didn't realize you guys existed.
Right. Yeah, there's so much that's outside of your hands, and so this just levels that field and adds in a whole lot of other good stuff along the way to enhance the relationship.
Definitely. All right. And so Brant, you want to introduce yourself? Brant from Mouthwatch.
Yeah, hi. Brant Herman, founder of Mouthwatch. We do two main things. We have a teledentistry platform that we think opens up for innovative practices and doctors looking to kind of bring teledentistry that keeps them involved in care delivery. So we allow for off-site consultations, virtual consultations, collaborations, referrals, and sometimes that might look like hygienists working off-site where they're in a forward-thinking state where they can see patients, make them patients of record, and do anything from like a Virtue Dent model where they're going to a pop-up conference room and doing preventive care, all the way to public health settings, schools, nursing homes, and kind of expanding the reach of a dental practice, creating opportunities, and really seeing kind of the opportunity that distributed workforce creates for practices, whether it's a private practice for additional revenue or a public health clinic looking to be more efficient with how they deliver care. And I think once you put together that digital workflow, we see that opening a much better referral process where patients are involved in referral as opposed to just given a business card and told to go drop 10 grand with a specialist, and hopefully they'll update each other on kind of the status of that patient's treatment. And we also have intraoral cameras. So we came up with a very affordable, high quality intraoral camera that integrates into every dental imaging software. Instead of a $3,000 camera, it's $300. And we've been able to shake that up a little bit of putting a camera in every operatory as opposed to that one really nice camera that no one wants to touch because the doctor is going to freak out if they break it. So it's great to see a lot of you from trade show floors and conference floors here in this meeting, and I appreciate Travis putting it together. I think one thing we do on the teledentistry side especially is doctors who are getting their head around teledentistry are forward-thinking, tech-savvy doctors. And I think if there's ways to really enhance that integration, to make it part of their workflow and show them the opportunities, show them that it's not just maybe what they're hearing in the news about home aligner companies for teledentistry, but a big goal for us is really connecting that into more patients seeing dentists, more opportunity for them, always keeping a dentist involved, not excluding them from the treatment process, but putting them right in the driver's seat of it. So we're based in New Jersey. We attend a lot of events across a range from public health to private practice to DSO to insurance, and happy to be a resource to anyone and also kind of ask questions and be engaged. I love a lot of the products you guys are putting out there on the technology side and on the education side, and hope to be a resource to you.
Yeah. So Brant is handpicked by me to join this because he's always innovating. He's on the lead. He's going to be more modest about himself, but he's built some cool stuff and continues to build a lot of cool stuff. So
yeah, it should be said, and I appreciate hearing it. We built some stuff that totally was crap and flopped.
Totally. Well, that
work, and you scrap it and you keep going and you figure out the next thing. So
absolutely, that's the only what makes it a good story, right? All right, and so we also have HR for Health on the line. Ali Oramchian, who's the CEO of HR for Health. Ali, are you there?
I am here, Travis, and I can't believe you said my last name correctly. Good job.
Been practicing it.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invite. as Travis just said, my name's Ali. I'm a dental attorney, and about 5 years ago, we launched a software product called HR for Health to keep dental, medical, optometric, and vet practices HR compliant. We launched our payroll product last year, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a great resource for our doctors. And so I love hearing all the stories today and everyone's kind of backgrounds. We have some things that we've developed and are developing that Travis knows about, that I'm going to be having my team kind of reach out to some of you and see if you want to be part of our education platform and DSO summit we're putting in the spring. And so we'd love for you guys, some of you guys, to be on there if that's of interest. But yeah, I have 3 girls in the San Francisco Bay Area. My wife's a pediatric dentist in the Bay, and just having fun every day, trying to do what we do with our doctors and change their lives. And we're growing our team, as many of you seem to be doing as well. So I'm excited to get to meet you guys and learn more about what you do and how we can work together. So thanks again, Travis.
All right, perfect. So I'm sorry, Pete, did you want to kind of talk a little bit more about, is your microphone working?
Yeah.
And you didn't really get a chance, and then Eric kind of got cut off.
Should be
and
working.
I want to hear from you guys. So, okay, perfect.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Cool. I'm Pete. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer over at GPG, and we focus on the power of video and marketing and how we can use custom video to enhance the overall online presence, from building more aesthetically pleasing websites and making it appear higher in the search engines and more engaging ads on Google or Facebook. Video is the future, not even the future, it's already here. So that's what we focus on. We help practices get new patients. And we also are working on some marketing IQ dashboards where we can attribute leads better to our marketing, making our product more stickier and giving the doctors the data they need to feel good about spending money on marketing, because we all know that they're not the biggest fans of that. And then I have my other co-founder, Eric, on the call, and I'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of follow up on what Pete said. So we're a marketing company with 2 major differentiations: video marketing, as well as using data to actually track the patients from their marketing and find out what revenue is actually generated and collected by the practice. Really where I wanted to touch on was, I heard a lot of people talk about kind of like moving into the new guard, like dental needs to evolve. And this is where I think this group has the most pull. Like, I think dental has been operating in its own world for a long time, like we all think. And there's a ton of industries that do this successfully. And if we can kind of mimic other industries that are further along, I think we can be very successful at this. So for instance, all the telecom companies do this. They create alliances and consortiums to make sure that they can kind of control the industry the way they want. And then furthermore, just stuff like I see this as like, dentists don't have a good way to get unbiased information somewhere. So like, I see dental lacking something like a G2 Crowd or a NerdWallet, or basically some place that they can go and get trusted information on their vendors and actually see clients review it. So I see this as a huge opportunity for us to take control of the industry and kind of change the conversation for everybody. And everyone here seems like they're all about kind of like flipping the industry on its head, showing transparency and making this a better marketplace for everybody. So I'm really excited to be here, and I think we have a huge opportunity ahead of us.
Yeah, and then appreciate the feedback that you put into the Google Doc. So you guys, I shared 2 sheets. I think most of you updated your contact information, so that's great. And I think Tanya kind of hit it on the head where she said, as we build trust and things like that, we'll talk a little bit more openly. And so I'm going to put together an NDA for everybody on that side as well. But feel free to go ahead and edit or add to the roundtable. Eric had put some comments in there that really, I hadn't even thought about where we have this kind of trusted group. My initial thought was, we have a group of collaborators that are helping each other solve problems and things like that. But I think this group will continue, and all of us will continue to evolve. Let's see, missed a couple people. Bailey or James, you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here. And like you said, it's James and Bailey over here from Weave. For those of you who don't know about Weave, we are a communications platform, and we really classified ourselves as the toolbox for your business. So that's a big piece for us. And one of the things we do, right, is we're going to be that phone system for the office, and then obviously the reminder service along with that, and integrate into that practice management software to really just bring a simplified connection between the patient and the practice. And that's really the big focus for us, and just really connecting and seamlessly transitioning any conversations that the office might have with the person on the other end of that line from the business. So that's the whole focus for us.
Okay, great, thank you. And Ali Javier from Addit, and introduce yourself. Are you on?
A couple of the guys here, we offer online marketing as well as a practice growth platform that kind of centralizes for the practice all their new patient acquisition kind of data from acquisition to journey through the practice to retention and that entire journey for a patient to a practice. And so we kind of help a practice grow from new patient acquisition to communication to retention. And so I'm really excited about this group. I have met a good portion of everybody here. So for those of you who I've met, it's good to see you guys. And it's always good to keep intel, to know what's going on, because sometimes, we're all stuck in our different cities. Addit's over here in Houston, Texas, and that's like nowhere for the dental industry, right? So, it's good to know, it's good to learn about what's happening and what are some of the new things coming out and what people are working on. And it's always, good to come up with things that can help our doctors keep growing. And so I'm really excited to be a part of this. And if anybody ever needs any kind of help or anything, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to be of service. So I'm really excited. Thanks for putting this together, Travis.
Sounds good. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. So let's talk about security and privacy, and then we'll wrap this up maybe even a couple minutes early here. And I want to talk, I think the two things that I want to talk about are, how do we handle that? And Tanya, it sounds like you've got some experience in that. So to me, the idea was maybe we sign an NDA between the collective group, mutual NDA. And that would be one form of that. I use PandaDocs to track all my contracts, makes it easy for me to just load everybody in there. We'll all just mutually sign it. And that way we get that level of confidence. But what other things have you guys seen, or what would make you more confident to be able to come in and really feel like you can collaborate and share in an open environment to help each other?
Tanya, do we sign an NDA with EO?
We have a constitution. We develop a constitution, and then it has rules and of how we do things. And then we also have a way that it's called Gestalt, how we share information, so that we're not pointing our finger at somebody and saying, you need to do this. It's about, well, I've experienced a situation like that, and this is how I solved it. Or my friend has this and they've done this. It just keeps people from feeling, it's like you're wrong or you're doing it this way. There's just ways to.
Tanya, are those legally binding agreements though, that constitution? Because like from my understanding, it's more of like a you're in, and then if you mess up, you're out type of thing. It's not necessarily a legal protection for anyone, right?
Not in EO. No, it's not a legal protection. There's no NDA signed or anything like that. But you basically build trust in the group, but you're together a lot, and you share and you get vulnerable, and you share that 55% of shit that you have in your life that you can't share with everybody else. And that's where you build the trust and the bond. That's how it works. We've got a little bit of a different situation, I think, here a little bit, but there are some rules or some things we can take from that. I can pull the Constitution and give a.
Yeah, why don't you send that over to the group, and we'd love to see that.
I'll find an example.
Travis, I just say GPG really, like from our perspective, I don't think in terms of confidential information, there's no I think if we're doing something proprietary, we're probably not going to disclose like the code base or anything. So from our perspective, I'm in a position where I don't even need an NDA from GPG. I don't know if I would actually like to go more towards the Constitution side, where it's more mutually assured destruction than anything, than a mutually NDA.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I agree. Instead of going in blind with however many people with an NDA.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. This is Jared.
I'll find an example
to do that constructively.
Perfect. Love that. Solved it. All right. So we'll just follow what already's out there for EO and others. You know, no need to do that. I'm not a big fan of NDAs. I build custom software. So whatever you guys have built, I guarantee I've already built it 2 or 3 times. So it's, you know, like no offense. Somebody will come to me. I'm like, sorry guys, I already built that. Are you sure you still want to share your idea with me? And it's like, it is what it is, right? All right. So let's put together a constitution. I think that's a great route to go. Happens every week too. You know, so we'll go from that perspective. Let's talk about, you know, events. So I would like to also have some guest speakers that come and present maybe the first 15 minutes of our meetings when we have these. And so be thinking about ideas of people that we think would be valuable folks. I don't want to say put them on the hot seat, but there may be opportunities where we can have a nice collaborative conversation with some people if we're doing it in a constructive manner. And I think everybody on this phone call, at least I know you guys are all going to do it in a constructive manner, so I'm not too worried about it. But be thinking about, so one of my advisors is a guy named Jim Rohde, and Jim Rohde grew Smart Practice to over $100 million in revenue. Smart Practice was like the number 10 biggest dental supplier. And he's about 80 years old, great guy, loves to share his story and his best practices and what he's learned. I'd love to get people like him on. And just folks that we really think, you know, bring value for us, but also feel like they could bring some value for, you know, it would be mutual, right? So most of the people at his point in his life, he wants to give back and help people, right? And there's a lot of those out there. So let's continue to kind of identify those. Let's put those into this document, and you know, speakers and presentations we'd like to see.
Another thing I think would be good is if we're all like, let's set 2 dates or 1 date or 2 dates where there's a dental convention that we go in early a day. We get together. We have a day together, or half a day together, or an evening together, where I think that would build camaraderie there and before the conference.
That's brilliant and makes it easy for us all to get together. That's a great idea.
Or twice a year, and then if you know you can't make it, there won't be a penalty in that. That's just, it's a bonus if you can make that type of thing happen.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Not going to have penalties in this at all, in my opinion. You know, this is casual.
Hey Travis, I want to just quickly ask, and this might be my fault for coming on this call at 3:03 instead of 3 o'clock. Can you tell me a year out from now, and I might not be the only one thinking this, what is your overall goal? I see a big picture of total collaboration, which I love. I see Mastermind. I see a ton of companies. What is your goal a year out from now? Is it to have, you know, 50 influencers or companies or organizations meeting once per month? Is it going to essentially larger organizations and having a bigger voice? What is your, you know, what's your BHAG, or what is your overall objective? So I'm clear. I see where I kind of see where we're going, but I just need a little bit of a clearer picture so I can go there with you.
Yeah, no, and that's a question not just for me, that's for everybody. And the whole point of this is it's not my stuff, it's everybody's stuff. This came out of the fact that Pete, Jared, Eric, and I got together, and Jared and I have been talking about doing this for probably a couple of years now. And our goal is really to, you know, to better collaborate. But as far as like numbers goes, I'd rather keep it to 10 to 15 quality, not really focus on, hey, I want to have 100 people in this group. But I don't know, Pete, Eric, you guys want to chime in on that, or Jared?
Yeah, no, definitely. What I have envisioned for it, and I speak for myself and Eric, is again, dentists can come to this outlet and get unbiased information on the top vendors in each category, to where we are hand selecting other vendors that we feel that deserve to be on this platform, and then there's going to be some type of system that controls the type of content that goes out there, to where it's not going to be like Facebook, where you get people arguing back and forth and bad mouthing each other, to where it's really just coming here for information on the products available from the different vendors available, and then using all that information to then make an educated decision on the services that best fit your needs and your practice's needs.
And 100%, that's, I think from what me and Pete have thought of, is there is a lack of like unbiased kind of like communities in dental. Like, everyone else is getting paid. We're washing each other's hands. We're sending each other referral payments, and it makes the industry feel scammy. So like, what we see is like, this is an ability to create a trusted community. And then to your point, Travis, like, we don't know what this is going to turn into. So I was curious if me and Pete had some strong opinions, but I'm wondering if anyone else saw what direction we could take this, because a mastermind group is more of a direction we could take it, where it's more just industry leaders talking about where the industry is going, versus more of a sales channel, which is how we were thinking of it.
Right. So the reason I asked that I asked that for a question that was going to be followed by a question. So I see a lot of the same people on here that I seen a few weeks ago. So Jamie and I are planning to have an event that's prior to our event. I'd be the first one to volunteer to come in a day early prior to one of our events, if anybody is interested in making that happen. Travis, I don't know if you've seen that text message that I sent. I didn't know which direction you were taking this group with.
Yeah,
I think that just answered it with what Pete said, but essentially I can go ahead and spill the beans. With like all the vendors with Dentistry's Got Talent, we were talking about essentially bringing in like a vendor mastermind prior to or to an event, and this kind of like it in a way goes hand in hand, but I kind of want to see where you guys are going with the group.
Well, let's bring that
first.
In. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why we have all these silos or who's running it or whatever it may be. I think we have, because what Pete and Eric want is slightly different than what I was visioning with what Ryan and Jared and I were envisioning, which was more like collaborating, helping each other solve problems. I think there's probably 3 subcategories in the group, and people can be a part of all of it, or they can be a part of one of it. And let's not dilute it by sending it to 2. So that would be, we're all the we're the founders of it. We're not, there's no ego for me involved of who's running the calls or anything like that. I don't care about that. I just care about helping each other. And I've got a couple things that I'm working on that I know you guys could help me with. So quite honestly, I have a ulterior motive myself to help. I need help in launching a couple products, and you guys have all launched products. That's the one thing that I am really kind of, and I enjoy hanging out with all you guys, but some of the stuff that Ryan does with marketing, sales, and launching of products, that's where I need help. So to me, I think there's probably 3 subcategories of it, right? So you can do it on your own, that's fine, or we can, I think what we'd also can do is, as a part of this, Pete and Eric, is let's build that marketplace, and that would just be a subcategory of what we're doing here. There's no need to, if these are the beginnings of the trusted group of people, that's more powerful than starting from scratch and trying to do something without this core group of powerful people, to do it with. So let's do all 3 of them.
Yeah, Travis.
And go ahead.
To that point, I think these meetings, I think like we got a lot of people here, so it's not going to happen quick. If any of you guys want this to happen quick, just bow out, because it's not going to happen quick. But like I think we can like start with maybe kind of meeting figuring out, like, is there just value in the industry leaders meeting with each other to kind of figure out problems? And then maybe what we're proposing is more of a second step in that stage, which is, and same with like having speakers come, maybe it's the second step in the stage, but the first step is really organizing this group to talk about different thoughts. And I guess I still want to ask, does anyone have any specific ideas that they're like, they have conviction for, that they think would help this? Like when I heard Ryan from Simplify talking about the new guard, like that's what we're all about. So I'm kind of curious if this group of high intellects has any other ideas of where we should take this.
Yeah, I really think that this can be I love it. Like I put on the sheet, if any of you guys have questions about, scaling from, 1 to 10,000, I can be of assistance to that kind of stuff. And I think that's really like a good thing for like almost pinging, not offline. We can talk about it in a general forum and give feedback to that. We've talked one night about marketing. That's great. I think one-on-one conversations and then trusting are good for that as well. Like looking at this and going, okay, cool. Now I know everything that you guys do. I'd love to give you a call and see what you think about this and how you kind of tackled it. Then you kind of have those meetings one-on-one. Where I see this becoming very powerful is kind of like I was talking about, is that, one of the reasons that you see, actually a good example is, do you guys remember, what's it called? It started with a B. It had a big red logo. They were there like in a flash of a pan. They were
Banyan?
Yeah, thank you, Banyan. Yeah. So like they were here and then out like a light, like overnight, right? And it was a great idea. Maybe one of you guys is the previous founders, because I think he went on to buy a bunch of practices. But basically, they ran up against what was happening at the time, like the pro sites and the office site, and really they got blackballed out of a certain organization, right? Whereas I think if they had something like this, or even maybe that's a bad example, but if they had something like this and we kind of all come together and I say, hey, look, I think this is something that you're all going to be running up against. One of the examples, is the easy one of the integration partners, right? Tanya, if you haven't done any integrations with Dentrix yet, you might have with IntelliPost, but you might not have. I'm sure you're probably looking at that for possible auto staffing and filling positions. If you're not, that's a great idea for you. But if you gotcha. Like the scheduling API will be crucial for you coming up. And right now they just changed all of their pricing, and they are raising their prices and taking away the scheduling API altogether. So what happens is that, we with our 3,000 customers, of which, roughly 1,800 of them are Dentrix. And I'm sure I know Weave's got a shit ton of Dentrix customers, and I'm sure you have so many customers that use Dentrix, it's not even funny, right, Tanya? So like, if we can all come to them and say, look, I'm getting ready to email every single one of my customers and tell them that it was not my fault that your scheduling stuff disappeared. It was Dentrix's fault. I can tell you how that goes for them. It goes really poorly. And we won't be able to make a difference with them. It'll be our customers so much so. So we need to but if we do that in a uniform manner, if I basically can say, hey guys, here's what I'm getting ready to do, highly recommend that you do the same. And we actually follow through on that, which is really cool. It almost becomes a lobbying consortium, which I think is hot. I think that's really, really cool.
Dude, Ryan, I'm into this. This is literally like, this is the other side of it, which is you can kind of push the industry in the direction you need. This is what all the telecoms do when Sprint and Verizon want to make sure that Qualcomm don't screw them over with you need to put in 5G before they're ready to put in 5G. They come at them with no, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon all say no, and the industry responds. So I see definitely that side of it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We don't need to.
We're up against the hour here, so I want to. I mean, this is a great conversation. I know we could talk for hours. Anyways. Anybody could be at Greater New York? I know I'll be there. And okay.
Yes, I'll be there.
All right, cool. So let's try
Gary will be
plan
there.
some time. So last thing, kind of in closing, and this was a great conversation, as good as I expected it to be, if not better. We use Slack for communication. Most of you, several of you guys are on my, because you use our integrations, you're on my integration stuff. And, we've got some, 21 members on there, a lot of people collaborating back and forth. It's a very useful tool in doing this, helping each other kind of solve problems. So I've created a Slack channel. It's called Boomerang Dental Supplier Mastermind, for lack of a better word. I'm going to add all you guys to that. Looks like several of you already are in there. I think it's going to be a great way just for us to have some ongoing collaboration. And I'll see a bunch of you guys in New York. I'll have a video crew at least one of the days there, so let's get you guys a video. But have a great day. Appreciate everybody joining. This was awesome. It's a great start, and we'll continue to. Let's talk on the Slack channel about when we want to have our next meeting. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.